Afro,
Mm-hmm.
you might want to turn your YouTube camera to you so that they don't flag it as external content or something.
My YouTube camera is on me.
No, I mean your TikTok camera. You might want to flip it around
Okay.
to show your face.
All right, so they can only hear. Okay,
Yes.
that's okay.
So we'll see you or hear or whatever. And
Okay.
then when you've got the computer, they might say.
Okay, it's showing other people's content. Okay, makes sense. Thank you. All right, gentlemen, when you're ready, let's start. Oh, someone's going. Why do you keep going off and on, off and on? Yeah. Okay. Is he back? Okay, that's it. I'm ready when you're ready. I'm ready when you're ready. Right. Anyway, guys, welcome. Please make sure you grab yourself a drink. We might have some technical issues because my interlocutor, is it what you call it? An interlocutor. Well, he's streaming from Kenya, so it might be a bit all over the place. So yeah, fingers crossed. We're able to get it working. So, but in the meantime, please, oh, both of them are gone now. In the meantime, give the stream a thumbs up, and if you're watching on YouTube, please, you can come on YouTube. Sorry, if you're watching on TikTok, you can come on YouTube to see the videos. Okay. So, right now it's just me here. So the topic is on uh so you can see the topic, right? So Jesus, ancestors, and atheism, right? So there's Jesus, ancestors, atheism, and the impact on colonialism, how colonialism impacts on these things. So yeah, this is what we're talking about. They're trying to reconnect, so welcome. Okay, that's Ben. Where is Charles? Where's Charles? I hope he's able to connect.
Is Charles not in yet?
No, he keeps going in and out. So hopefully he's able to connect. We'll get him back on. But you sound okay, so that should be good. Please, people in the chat, can you hear me? Can you hear Ben say something? Ben, say something so they can tell us whether they can hear or not. Please let us know if you can hear us. Okay, my king, thank you. I can see you guys. Sorry, I wouldn't be. My focus is here, so I'm looking at the screen this way. So, where is Ben? Sorry, you're Ben. I'm sorry. If you're watching on YouTube and you want to support with a super chat, please do so. We will have time for, hopefully, might have time for questions. So, where is he? In the meantime, Ben, are you there? Can you hear me? Ben? Hey, Ohala. Ben, can you hear me? Oh, this is not good. This is not good. Can you hear me? Ben, can you hear me? Okay, African Debates is here. I hope this thing works.
Wow.
Now he's gone. You're back. He's gone.
Oh my dear. And we are already live?
Yes, we are live. Yes,
Wow.
we are live. It's okay. It's okay. Please do not worry about it. It's okay.
I guess maybe
We off now. Yeah. Okay. See you later.
for now, what I can
Thank
do.
you, TM. Oh, guys, this is not good. I'm sorry, guys. The internet is really bad. The internet is really bad. I'm sorry. Okay. Oh, goodness. Yes, guys, happy International Women's Day, everyone, all the women. Happy International Women's Day. I congratulate you all. You're awesome, beautiful people. Without you, this world would be all over the place. Vessel of Dishonor, happy International Women's Day.
Happy International Women's Day to you too, Afro.
That's it. That's it. Did they have a International Men's Day?
They don't need it.
Come on, give them some slack.
We're good. We're
We
good.
have it because we were,
Wait,
we had to fight for, we had to fight to be seen, fight for fair pay, the gender gap and all of that. They never had to do that, so they don't need one.
Okay. Right. Okay, so are we good?
I think we're good now.
Are we good? So
they don't need.
I think the best thing.
Okay, African Debates. I've got two of you.
I think I'm fine.
I've got
Hope
two
you
of
can
you
hear me.
on here right now. So you're logged in
Yeah.
2 times. There's going to be an echo for that reason.
I think it's probably trying to find what will work.
So what I'm going to do is I will mute.
Okay.
I don't know if I mute one.
Yeah, that's all right now.
Okay, now it's okay, right?
Yeah, that's okay now.
Yeah, so I think now we should just probably start.
Okay.
I see it's better through the phone. At least that's what I hope so. So maybe I just start here by saying sorry for the delay, everyone. And I think we will just get right to it without too much info in the introduction. And so African Debate partnering with Afro Atheist to discuss the topic on colonialism and Socratic discourse, represented by Ben, will be here to give, we will start with Ben, just give a 15-minute, actually 7-minute, 7-minute introduction into the topic on what he thinks about colonialism and how it intersects with Christianity, African traditional religion, and naturalism. So let's just start because we've already taken too much time trying to log in. So after Ben, we'll have the Afro Atheist to give her perspective on the topic. So whenever you're ready, Ben, I will start off. I will actually time you guys. And I guess when it's 1 minute 2, I will let you know that 1 minute is left. And then when it's time, I'll just say time. So whenever you start, I'll start timing.
Okay, that's fine. I hope my audio is fine, right?
Yes, I can hear it well on my
Yes,
end.
you sound okay.
Okay, okay. Fine. Thank you. So I think I'll go. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on here. And thank you so much, Esther, for showing up. I think it's my first time to meet you and maybe have a conversation with you through Charles. So it's good to have you on here for this conversation. And so we the topic Jesus, colonialism, and African traditional religion. So if I to talk about is how does Christianity, atheism, naturalism to deal with the question of colonialism, as we see it. So just for a start, I'd love to say that colonialism is an old thing that has happened, not to Africa alone, but to many countries of the world. So it is something that has happened. But I will talk about the morality of colonialism, angling it from the point of human dignity. And I think can be outraged with aspect of colonialism. And I think everyone really who is a human being should be outraged with the issue of colonialism, because the human dignity was actually diminished. I will say many people died, many people were enslaved in that case. So it has to do with the human dignity. And I am going to argue that, at least from the Christian perspective, human dignity is transcendental. And the Judeo-Christian understanding of the human as the composition of the soul and body gives a human being a high moral status, I will say. And so that the morality of, or the immorality of colonialism is because it diminishes human dignity. That is number one. And then number two, I just like to give an example. Between 1904 and 1908, the Germans, there's the southwest of Africa was part of their colony, was under the colonial regime, and so they set to exterminate the Herero people. Those were the Africans, the Herero people, and they killed 4/5 of the Herero people. And what happened is because they diminished their dignity. And what is interesting is that the justification of killing of the Herero people was a natural outflow of the Darwinism they had actually embraced. Like I have like what Charles Darwin says in The Descent of Man. He says that at some future period, not very distant as measured by centuries, the civilized races of man will almost certainly exterminate and replace throughout the world the savage races. So I think when he talks about the savage races, he's talking about the races that are lower the hierarchy. That is according to Darwinism, because I actually think Darwinism posits so a racial hierarchy, and then who will occupy the lowest on the racial, who also I think played a role into this. He's called Gustav Jager. He said that the law of annihilation is a natural law without which the organic world could not exist at all. And so through that, as the natural outworking of Darwinism, the man was actually diminished and the African was in the world who was under the rule of colonization was diminished on human dignity. And I think all forms of oppression and colonization begin with diminishing of human dignity. And I think what Christianity gives us is a transcendental understanding of human dignity. Now, if I talk about the African tradition or religion of how the ancestors will understand the morality of colonialism, sorry, Charles out of, but we can just continue with the conversation. I think there are some aspects of the ATR that I can look at and think they are positive, and I appreciate that. Please, Esther, let me know when my 7 minutes are over so that I can let you take over, right?
Oh, it's
Charles?
1.5 minutes left.
Okay.
Oh yeah, you can continue. 1.5 minutes left.
I think his network is bad.
All right, sorry for that.
Okay,
I can see you
he's
back.
on.
So
You're back on now.
can I conclude? Maybe.
Yes, you have a minute. You can just
I'm good.
conclude your intro in 1 minute.
All right. So I think when I look at the African traditional religion, there is something that we can appreciate. I think the aspect of community that the ancestors embraced, or what the ATR will teach, is something that is actually good. But I think in terms of a moral comprehensive framework, the way the ancestors, of course, colonialism is evil and is bad. But I think a comprehensive moral framework of understanding colonialism cannot emanate from ATR or ancestors, African ancestors, as I think about it, because I think the understanding of morality will be organized along tribal lines. There is a sense in
Time
which
is up.
if I consider my tribe superior, I will have to like subjugate the tribes that I consider to be inferior. Yeah. So thank you. I think Esther can take it up. We'll continue and I'll explain more of the things that I haven't talked about.
All right. Thanks for your intro. And so, like for those who are joining, that was the Christian intro on the topic of colonialism. And I guess now the Afro Atheist will give her naturalistic perspective on colonialism and what she thinks about how Christianity and African traditional religion look at the topic. So whenever you start speaking, we'll start the 7 minutes.
Okay. So can you hear me okay?
Yes, you're very valuable.
So yeah, good evening everyone, and thank you for the opportunity, of course, to take part in this debate. The topic before us is Jesus, ancestors, and naturalism in the context of colonialism. So this discussion is not simply about religion. It is about our history. It's about our culture and how belief systems shape societies. What people believe, as much as it's a personal thing, beliefs can impact on humanity. Before colonialism, African societies had their own systems of spirituality. They had ethics and meaning. Many African cultures recognized the importance of ancestors, not as gods, but as a continuation of family and community, and a connection. They also saw the ancestors. They represented their lineage, their identity, and their connection to the past. And these systems existed long before the European contact. And they were a part of complex societies with moral codes, governance, and cultural traditions. However, during the colonial period, European missionaries arrived alongside colonial administrators. So, a couple of things were happening there. The European missionaries arrived alongside colonial administrators and political power. Christianity was introduced as the superior belief system, while African traditions were often labeled as pagan, primitive, or demonic. And so, as a result, many Africans were discouraged and sometimes pressured to abandon their traditional beliefs and replace them with Christianity, to replace them with Jesus. Not just any Jesus, but the white Jesus. They came with pictures, they came with, you know, photos and telling us that this is what the Jesus looks like or looked like. And this raises an important historical question. Did Christianity simply spread because it was spiritually convincing? Imagine you as an African just minding your business, going about your day, and a bunch of people who look nothing like you come along and tell you, you know, your systems, your traditions, the things that you believe, they are evil, they're demonic, they're not good. They, but here we've got a different solution for you, right? So imagine that sort of world. Um, did Christianity spread partly because it was connected to colonial power structures? They built schools, there were mission schools, there were colonial institutions and social systems, often promoted Christianity while discouraging traditional African spirituality. At the same time, naturalism offers another approach to this topic. So I come from, the a place of naturalism. Naturalism does not rely on supernatural explanations such as gods, spirits, or divine intervention. Instead, it examines religion through history, anthropology, psychology, and human behavior. And from a naturalistic perspective, religions are human cultural systems that develop within societies to explain life, death, morality, and the unknown. And in this sense, both belief in Jesus and belief in ancestors can be understood as part of the human's attempt to understand existence. The difference, however, is that Christianity arrived in Africa during a period of colonial domination, while, no, sorry, a period of colonial domination that shaped how it was received and how African traditions were treated. Understanding this history does not mean attacking anyone's personal faith. Instead, it means honestly examining how belief systems interact with power, culture, and historical change. So, my position tonight is that to understand religion in Africa today, we must acknowledge the historical role of colonialism, and we need to examine beliefs critically through reason, evidence, and historical awareness. Thank you. I don't know how many minutes that was, but yeah, I'm done. Where is you want to be a guest on the next show? Contact me in my DMs and we can sort something out.
Thank you. I think we lost Charles, but I think we can just like continue with
okay.
the
No, he's back.
conversation.
He's back now.
Okay.
There he is. Okay.
Alrighty.
Are you there now, Charles?
Yes, in fact, I just stepped out because of some net issues, but actually, you still have some more time. And
Okay.
I guess maybe we can just say that you're done now. And so now we would get to the cross-examination. Sorry, guys, there's been a bit of some net issues, but at least you've gotten the introduction. So now, we can have the Afro-atheist first to cross-examine for from 7 minutes. So within those 7 minutes, there will be both the question and the answer. And then after the 7 minutes, we will have Ben cross-examining the Afro-atheist. So whenever you're ready, I will continue the timer for 7 minutes.
So, Ben, do you think that Christianity, do you think there is a connection between Christianity and colonialism? Because I think that without colonialism, Christianity would not have thrived. Christianity would not have spread as wide as it did. So, do you think that there is a connection between colonialism and Christianity?
So thank you for that question, and I think that is a good question. So I will say you can actually do a correlation between the spread of Christianity and the arrival of the white man in terms of colonialism. But my argument will be that actually I think historically, and the way I understand Christian history, that Christianity was in Africa very, very early, way before the arrival of the colonialists, right? How do I know that? Very early on in the Christendom, we have Christianity spreading fast to, this is the direction Christianity went, starting from Israel, as we know it, or Jerusalem. That Christianity went east, right? Went west as well, but down in Africa. So we have Christianity in Africa, the oldest, and I think we can talk about Aksum, that the kingdom of Aksum, Ethiopia, that was largely Christian very early. At least we know that Ethiopia was not colonized historically, and Christianity also went west as well. And so I will say, even before the coming of the colonizer, let me not use the term white man, even before the coming of the colonizer, Christianity was here very early on. So is there a part that the colonialists played in the advance of Christianity? And I will say yes, because in a sense, them coming down here in colonialism, for matters colonialism, in a sense, they also allowed missionaries to come in. And in a sense, they facilitated missionaries to come in Africa and continue to spread the message of the gospel as well. So I think the last thing I will add is that historically, Christianity has spread even without the use of power. And anytime people have used power to spread Christianity, it has always hit the rocks, because the message of Christianity is the message of love. The message of Jesus is preach the gospel, invite everyone to receive Jesus Christ. So is there a sense in which Christianity might have been used by the colonialist? I will say yes. And does it have a bearing on the message of whether Christianity is true or not? No, I think Christianity is true, whether it was actually misused or not.
Yeah. Okay. So an ideology that can be used by colonialists, don't you think that is problematic? How is it that someone who wants to colonize a group of people can look at the ideas in the loving religion of Jesus and they can find passages, they can find scriptures to back up their intentions. They can find scriptures to back up their acts, their actions. Because when you look at the Bible, it's clear that the colonizers, these people were Christians. They were Christians. So, I mean, when you say that they, anyway, I think my question to you is, wouldn't you, um, should we trust a religion that can be used by colonizers?
The question should be, is it true or not? Basically, you can take anything and use it for your own ends, and that happens a lot, isn't it?
Yes, you can.
I can give you a gun, and you can use a gun to shoot your neighbor. So does it mean there's a problem with a gun? It only means there's a problem with someone who is actually using a gun. And I will say there is actually a distinction between the Christian and the colonizers, because I think the goal of the Christian missionaries coming here, and I just want to read for you a quote here from a Christian missionary, from the example I gave you for the destruction of the Herero people. Like that example, clearly the guys who, the Germans who saw the destruction of the Herero people, at least 4/5 of them, their motivation was not even Christianity. Their motivation was a natural outflow of Darwinism, the diminishing of human dignity. So you can separate the intentions of the Christian missionaries, this from the beginning. And I can actually read you a quote from a German missionary here. During that time, he actually said that the average German here looks upon and treats the natives as creatures, being more or less on the same level
1 minute left.
as baboons. So if that happens, and I actually think if you are consistent with the message of the Bible, you cannot use the message of the Bible to oppress the weak, I will say.
Okay. On the subject of whether it is true, I mean, if you're making the claim that Christianity is true, that is a big claim, because I personally do not think that Christianity is true. Right. So I know we're nearly ended, but I would have asked you, what makes you say that Christianity is true? What evidence do we have that Jesus existed, lived, died? You know, what evidence do we have? So I personally, I'm not in agreement that Christianity is true.
Okay.
And I guess maybe when Ben responds, now Ben will start asking questions, because the 7 minutes for Afro Atheists are up. So Ben, you can respond and then start asking questions.
All right. I think there's plenty of evidence that Christianity is actually true. What matters is how much time you have. But let me narrow down to the question of Jesus, because I think that is the question that you're actually asking. So is Jesus Christ a historical figure? And I will say yes, Jesus Christ is a historical figure. I think virtually any serious historian out there will not actually say that Jesus didn't exist. Any serious historian. So Jesus is a historical figure, that he existed. Now, how can we, what do we know about him in terms of history? And I will say we can go the line of the scriptures, as the Bible as well. But of course, I will have to do an argument for why I think the Bible, or the New Testament to be specific, is reliable. But let me just go the way of history, right? So can we go to history apart from what we have in the Holy Scriptures and be able to understand who Jesus Christ is and what happened to him? And I actually think yes. There are contemporaries of Jesus Christ who are historians who wrote about Jesus Christ. A good example is Josephus. Josephus tells us that Jesus Christ was crucified during the time, or during the eve of the Passover. Tacitus tells us about Jesus Christ as well. We have Pliny the Younger, who is a historian. You can actually be able to confirm these guys. We have Maraba Serapion, who I think is a He's a philosopher. He talks about Jesus Christ. And virtually from these guys, we can this is what we can learn about Jesus Christ. That he lived a virtuous life. That is number one. And number two, he was condemned to death by crucifixion under the reign of Pontius Pilate, right? And number three, a movement was born out of the followers of Jesus Christ who believed that they had seen him rise from the dead. And number four, which will be the final one, is that Christians get their name from Christus. I think that is Tacitus who refers to Christ as Christus. They get their name out of that. So, in short,
I think you're supposed to be asking me questions now.
yeah,
I think you're supposed to be asking me because right now we are on your time.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no problem. So, my question will be, I just because I haven't interacted with you before, I want to understand your position clearly. So, when you talk about naturalism, you are a naturalist. Is that what you mean?
Well, I'm an atheist.
You're an atheist.
Yes,
right?
And my worldview really is naturalism, to be fair.
Is naturalism.
But I am an atheist.
All right. So when you speak about naturalism, what do you mean by naturalism? Naturalism.
I mean that there are no, there is no other realm out there. No, I have no beliefs in spirits, demons, God, just anything outside of this reality here. Everything that exists in this reality.
So if I understand you, you mean that nature is all there is. There is nothing outside of nature.
As far as I know.
As far as you know.
Yes.
So what will you say is the origin of man?
The origin of man. That's a big question. So the origin of man is a subject that I personally do not like to.
3 minutes left.
I personally do not like to engage in that because it's still a subject that I'm trying to figure out myself. But of course, it's not in any way, we don't get the man coming from any gods or any characters out there in the sky, waking up one day and deciding that humans are going to be here, right? There are theories that clearly tell us how humans got here. One of them is the theory of evolution, and it's something that I am quite aligned with. I will not be able to go, into that sort of discussion because it's, still a subject that I'm, trying to figure out. But I mean, I think it aligns with the sort of things that I, my values, my beliefs. Well, yeah. So I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah. So you at least you're saying that you're exploring, but you're at least aligning yourself more with evolution. All right.
Yes, and I don't believe that there is an outside entity that is the starting point for the existence of man.
That's fine. That's fine. I think
So we have 1 minute left.
So my question, okay. So my question to you will be, can you explain to me, at least in as far as you understand evolution, can you explain to me how morality arises from evolution?
Sorry, say that again. How morality arises from?
Arises from evolution. Like, is the concept of right and wrong a product of evolution?
So how morality emanates from evolution?
Evolution, yeah.
Okay. I mean, it's very simple. So we are social beings, right? And so through socialization, we come to understand through our interactions, through our everyday lives, we come to find, okay, this is something that we, agree upon. that brings harm to people, we can, together determine that, okay, this is something that is good. This is something that we can all adopt and agree upon, right? So we talking about socialization, talking about our interactions as humans, talking about, as individuals, the ethos of do no harm. When you do harm to your fellow human, you can see the devastation that you cause to that human. And so, over a long period of time, communities form, and those communities start to define for themselves what morality is. They start to define. I mean, we start to create laws and create structures that, example is the judicial systems, right, that helps to put these um, ideas in place. So morality is
And time is up.
okay. Morality. Sorry, let me just
Oh,
finish what I was saying.
Oh yeah, but you
Morality.
can finish up. You can finish up. Yeah.
Morality is very much something that we all come together to determine.
So, Charles,
All right.
can I
Oh,
do a quick one just as a follow up on that, and then that will
actually,
be it.
the open-ended question is going to follow. So I think in the open-ended question now, it will be more not guided by me, but it will be like maximum 15 minutes. But just before we get to that
Between
session,
us.
yeah, it will just be between you guys, uninterrupted uninterrupted from me for around 10 to 15 minutes. Just trying to work with the time because we spent a bit of time earlier. But I know I didn't really introduce you guys well. But so the Afro Atheist is taking the naturalist position for those who are watching us now on colonialism, and Ben from Socratic Discourse and also Apologetics Kenya is taking the Christian position on colonialism. And we are discussing this because it's a big issue amongst people who are black and brown, if I may put it that way, or in Africa and the African diaspora. And so, especially those who take religion seriously. And so, we now want to get into the open-ended question, open-ended conversation. So I'll not interrupt for the next 10 to 15 minutes. And then maybe a minute before it ends, I will come and interrupt. So guys, whenever you're ready, whoever wants to start.
Before you start, would we have opportunities for the people to ask questions, people in the chat? Or
Yes. Okay. Yes, actually that will be after the rebuttal. There will be a Q&A session.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So to start, Ben, you said something about Jesus being a historical figure. You mentioned his contemporaries.
Yeah, that's true.
Are you saying that Josephus, Tacitus, Pliny the Younger, these are Jesus's contemporaries?
Yes, at least for Josephus, and I just let me reiterate, when I say contemporaries, I don't mean that they exactly lived with him through that time, but at least they lived within.
What do you mean when you say contemporaries?
So let me explain. I think so. They lived within that period that you will say there were still eyewitnesses of the life of Jesus Christ, and Christianity was spreading quite fast during that period. So those guys were writing that history there. So just a minute so that I get the dates right. I don't want to
okay, because when we
misrepresent this, but you can be asking a question
when we look at the definition of contemporary, yeah, a definition of a contemporary is a person or a thing that is living or existing at the same time as another. So a person or a thing living or existing at the same time as another. So Josephus, Tacitus, and Pliny the Younger would not have been contemporaries of Jesus at all.
Yeah, if you're going to define contemporary as that, I think that will make sense. But I think I think I will have said that these are people who lived within the time that the eyewitnesses of Jesus Christ actually lived. The eyewitnesses of the life of Jesus Christ actually lived, and their disciples. And so they knew these things. So just a minute, I'm getting the dates here so that
I'm saying,
it'll be easy.
if I don't understand how we're not getting more from the eyewitnesses, why do we have from these people who came later on, who weren't eyewitnesses?
Yeah, that's a good question. My point will be that those eyewitnesses will serve to confirm what we actually have in the scriptures. So it will be, and the guys I'm referring you to. These are not guys who are so friendly to Christianity, all right? And so at least we have reason to accept their testimony on that. And none of these guys I'm telling you are actually Christians.
Okay. So can we bring it back to the conversation, which is colonialism, right? I don't agree with Christianity being in Africa. Africans had their own gods. Africans had their own deities. Jesus was from Judea. He lived, existed, and died, all of that, in that part of the world. Jesus said he only came for the lost sheep of his father's house, and we know where he was referring to. So why then will his religion be brought to Africa? For what reason? What reason?
Okay, so I'm going to answer that question, but before I do, let me just share these dates with you here about the people I've been talking about.
You want to share something?
Yes. I want to share something about the historians I was talking to you about who recorded the life of Jesus. So Cornelius Tacitus lived between AD 55 and 117. So that will be like 22 years.
AD 55. How many years after Jesus died?
So those will be 22 years.
22 years after Jesus died?
22 years, yeah, after
Jesus died.
Yes, after the resurrection of Jesus Christ.
So that is Tacitus, okay? Did you say, no, is this Tacitus?
Tacitus, yeah.
Tacitus.
We have Thallus. So I think Thallus will be a contemporary of Jesus Christ because he's living in between 85 and 60. So Jesus will, he will be rightly a contemporary.
What did you call his name?
Thallus.
Thallus.
Yes.
I've never heard of this. And
so
what
Thallus,
did he say? What did Thallus say about Jesus?
Can I read for you what he said?
I mean, I would love to hear what he had to say.
All right. So this is what he said.
And by the way, who is Thallus? Who is he? What authority does he have?
He wrote the history of the he wrote 3 volumes of history, 3 volumes on the history of the Mediterranean.
Sorry, he wrote what?
Like he wrote 3 volumes of history on the Mediterranean. So that will be that area.
So what was
Middle East and that area.
What was his profession? What was he?
He was a historian.
He was a historian. Okay.
Yeah.
So he was a historian. And what did he say about Jesus?
So this is what he writes. That on the whole, and I'm reading the account that I'm reading for Thallus comes from Sextus Julius Africanus in the History of the World, right? So he says that on the whole world, there pressed a most fearful darkness, and rocks were rent by an earthquake, and many places in Judea and other districts were thrown down. This darkness, this is what he writes. This darkness he talks about in the 3rd book of history. All right. So he says that this appeared to me without reason as an eclipse of the sun. Now, why is that relevant to the question of Jesus Christ? when you read the Gospels, the Bible says that when Jesus Christ died, there was actually an eclipse that happened, that there was darkness that was there for like 3 hours. And so he records this.
Really? Okay, so he recorded an eclipse.
Yes, yes.
And what else did he record?
That is what we have from Talas.
Okay. Just give me a minute, let's see. Just give me a minute. Okay, so now will you then please answer the question, why do we need the Jesus religion in Africa?
So this is what I will say. I think from my understanding of the Christianity and my understanding of the gospel is that Jesus, when I read the New Testament, I actually see Jesus Christ claiming to be God, right? And I have sufficient reason and evidence to believe that he actually died and rose from the dead. And so his command was, at least before he ascended to heaven, from the records of the Gospels, his command to the disciples was, go out into the whole world and make disciples of all nations. And that is what Christians actually did. And they actually began within Jerusalem, and then went into the entire world. But even the very first Christians in the early church history, we have Christians, we have African Christians very early. You can read that in the accounts of Peter as well. We're having people from, which is this country that Gaddafi came from?
Oh, Libya?
Libya. So we're having Christians from Libya. We're having people from North Africa
Okay.
in Jerusalem when Peter is preaching the gospel, and among them who got born again, all very, very early, were Christians. So, and then finally, I will say that if Jesus Christ is really who he says he is, then he's God for everyone. And if the message of Christianity is true, then it is true for everyone. And according to what Jesus says, then everyone deserves to hear this truth. And that is what the Christians took up to do.
But isn't that a contradiction? How is Jesus saying he only came for the lost sheep of his father's house while he was here? These were the words out of his mouth. And then says to the disciples, go ye and make. When did he say to the disciples, go and make disciples? Go and make disciples of people? Did he do it after he died?
That is after the resurrection of Jesus Christ. So I have to explain what the verse you just quoted. You have to understand the context.
So while he was alive, he was only for the people of his father's house. In fact, not even everyone. He only came for the lost sheep. But as soon as he died and resurrected, now we're getting his, I don't know what form he was in, but his ghost is now saying, go and that is a contradiction as far as I'm concerned.
No, I actually don't think there is a contradiction. I think you need to understand the context where Jesus said, I am only actually sent to the lost sheep of Israel. If I can get the verse, let me answer that, because I also have questions I need to ask you as well before the time gets going.
Oh yeah, there's 4 minutes left.
Yeah, I have questions for her. So that should be Matthew chapter 15 that you are referring to, right? Yeah, that should be Matthew chapter 15. And when the Pharisees, verse 24 to be precise, verse 24, he answered. So this is Jesus Christ having an interaction with the Canaanite woman, all right? And from verse 21 actually says, and Jesus went away from there and withdrew to the district of Tyre and Sidon. And behold, a Canaanite woman from the region came out and was crying, have mercy on me, Lord, son of David. My daughter is severely oppressed by a demon. But he did not answer her for a word. And his disciples came and begged him, saying, send her away, for she is crying after us. Then Jesus said, He answered, I was sent only to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. But verse 25 says, but she came and knelt before me, saying, Lord, help me. And he answered, it is not right to take the children's bread and throw it to the dogs. She said, yes, Lord, yet even the dogs eat the crumbs that fall from the master's table. Then Jesus answered her, O woman, great is your faith, be it done for you as you desire. And her daughter was actually healed. So I think stretching that from that context, you can actually almost say Jesus saying, no, I was only sent to the lost sheep of Israel. But I actually think Jesus is taking this opportunity to draw out the faith of this woman, and that is what he wants the disciples to see. So Jesus is not necessarily denying and saying, no, I don't care about the rest, I'm just only here for Israel. He says all over the Gospels that he has come to die, and that whoever believes in him will have eternal life, and God has sent him for everyone. So I hope that serves to answer that question. Please let me ask you some
questions. We have 1 minute left for the open-ended convo.
Yeah. Sorry, I will just let you know that particular story that you've just talked about is one of the stories that makes Jesus look like an evil person.
But that is when you stretch it out of context. You can actually misunderstand it.
That's okay. But if we look at it in context, if you look at what's going on here, Jesus and that woman, this is one of the stories in the Bible that is very problematic and proves Jesus to be not a very nice person at all.
But you see, that is why I'm telling you, you can only do that if you misunderstand what Jesus Christ is saying there. Because the point is, Jesus is not saying that I don't care about the rest. The point is, and that is what Jesus wants to teach the disciples. He wants to show the disciples about this woman's faith as well. And Jesus did that with so many people, right? In a sense, to also try to chastise them about not having faith in what Jesus Christ is saying.
You're saying that
the conclusion.
And then,
sorry,
it seems time is up. So I think we'll have to wind up and then get into the rebuttal, which Afro Atheist will do a 5-minute rebuttal uninterrupted. Just finish up in 15 seconds, if that is even possible.
Yeah, just let him finish. Let him finish his points.
Can I ask a question just for a minute? Then we proceed.
Yeah, go on.
Okay. So let us pick up from the question I was asking you about the issue of morality, and you explained to me that society, that is, man come together and then they define what they consider to be right and wrong. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Am I getting you right?
Certainly.
All right.
Yes.
So my question to you will be this: if the white man or the white men, talking to them, or the colonialists, you can term them as that, if they came together and agreed that colonialism is okay, right, is a moral thing for us to do. So what will be wrong with that position?
We think about the harm that colonialism will cause to the people, right? And if it is causing harm, then we can't call it something that is moral. They can come together and decide that it is okay, right? But is it really okay? The white man, they concluded that it was okay, let's go and colonize. But it was still within their camp, still in there, that some people said, no, this is wrong. The people that stood up against colonialism was still part of the white man. So you can't say that they agreed and concluded that colonialism is moral. Otherwise, we'll still have been colonized till today. They stood up and said, no, unacceptable. Colonialism is not moral. You go into someone else's land and conquer them. So no, it just.
So let me ask you. So does evolution confer morality, as you've explained?
Does evolution confirm morality? I think over a period of time, maybe yes. I don't know. I'm not sure I understand the context of that question. Evolution confirm morality.
Confers morality, because
I don't understand that.
my argument will be, because if evolution confers morality, as you have
Did you
said,
say confirms or confers?
confers, not confirms,
Oh, okay.
confers.
Confers morality. Oh.
Yeah, because my argument will be that if evolution confers morality, right?
Mm-hmm.
If the white man rises up and says it is moral for me to colonize the black man, or whichever person I want to colonize, right? And another person rises up and says it is immoral to colonize these, not to colonize. I mean, it is immoral to colonize the other person, all right? Now, if that is happening to them on the basis of evolution, then who has the right to tell the other that he's wrong?
Yeah, the same people, when they decide that this is moral over a period of time, right? And this is where evolution comes in. Evolution is, it happens
Change.
over a long period of time. They start to see the harm that it is causing on fellow humans like themselves. They're the ones that stand up and say, no, this is immoral. Let's see, just very quickly, I wanted to do something.
Okay.
Wait, let's see.
So
So
can
when
I
you say,
do like the final one so that you answer all together?
oh yeah, go on.
So if evolution is actually, if evolution is change, do you mean that morality is bound to change as well?
Oh, absolutely, yes. Morality is subjective, and morality should, in fact, be changing as we get better, as we understand uh, systems better, as we understand, our existence better. Absolutely, it should change with time, and this is the colonialism, right? Went through a period of change because they start to realize that this is harmful to the people that are being colonized. This has a long term effect on the people who are colonized. And so, yes, hence the change. Morality has to go through a process of change. The things that we agree that are moral today may change in, but the end goal, in my opinion, because morality, I'm just looking at the definition of morality, a system of principles, values, and beliefs that guide individuals and societies. It's a system, right? And a system of principles. They are not fixed, they change with time. So
So you also say that morality is subjective. So
yes,
when you say subjective, what do you mean? Do you mean that one thing can be right for one and wrong for another? Is that what you mean
it can be.
by
Yes,
subjective?
yes, it can be right for one and be wrong for another. Yes.
So two pushbacks on that. Colonialism was wrong for Africans, and it was right for the white man. So how will you answer that? And then the next pushback will be, because morality, as you're saying, is bound to change. What what is what is what is it in evolution that will make morality change, not towards the worse, but towards the better?
I think as
Colonialism was
Afro atheist response, we can have
okay.
that as the last word as we get
Okay.
into the rebuttal.
Colonialism was never right for the white man. Never was it.
But
And
if morality is subjective, that will just be your own opinion.
well, the same people, they went through a process of change. The same people who agreed once upon a time that this was good for them, they did an about turn. So we can't say that it was right, even for them. You can't say that it was right for them, because otherwise we would still be colonized till this present day. So morality, sorry, not morality, colonization was never right, never. And we
But that
shouldn't
will
All
even
right.
be,
I think
we
we can.
shouldn't even be giving justification at all for colonialism. There is no reason why colonialism should ever have taken place.
All right. I think we can end the open-ended conversation here. Sorry, guys. I know you guys had so much to discuss. This can be a conversation for 24 hours, but because of the limited time, we have to abide by the timelines. But and I'll have to shorten the rebuttal time because of the time spent here. So we'll have to do maybe 3-minute rebuttals, unfortunately. So maybe Ben, you can start on the uninterrupted rebuttal, 3 minutes, and then Afro Atheist 3 minutes. Then we get into Q&A. So I'm assuming people have seen some comments. Maybe people can throw in actual questions so that we can deal with them in the Q&A after the rebuttal. So Ben, whenever you start, we'll time your 3-minute rebuttal.
All right. So I think there was a lot of things I'll have said, but this is how I'm going to tie up my thoughts. So I think when we think about the immorality of colonialism, I think it is Christianity only that provides a sufficient moral framework that can actually condemn the issue of colonialism. Why? Because what we believe in Christianity is that all human beings are created in the image and the likeness of God. And by that fact, every human being is supposed to be treated with dignity and with respect, regardless of their tribe or regardless of their background. All right. So that is number one. Number two, I think in the, at least from the naturalistic framework, it doesn't even begin to justify the question of morality at first. Why? Because evolution in itself, I think, and maybe and Esther can agree with me on this, that the sine qua non of evolution is the concept of survival, isn't it? That is the strongest that survives and the weakest gets extinguished. That is why Adolf Hitler, in his Mein Kampf, he said that the law of selection exists in the world, and the stronger and the healthier has received from nature the right to live. Woe to anyone who is weak, who does not stand his ground. He may not expect any help from anyone. So from the atheistic framework, at least, or from the naturalistic framework, at least, the white man was just trying to survive, and the black man was the right way for him to survive. And I don't see, from the naturalistic framework, why that one should be a problem. And if morality is subjective, at least that the fact that colonialism was wrong will just be our own opinion. We can only say colonialism was wrong for the black man if we have an objective and a transcendent moral value framework. And I think only Christianity gives us that. And Christ showed us the value and the dignity of man by taking on flesh and dying here so that he can redeem us from our sin. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for your one and only rebuttal. And the Afro Atheist has also 3 minutes,
3 minutes
for her first and only rebuttal before, and I guess we will get into the Q&A immediately after.
Okay. Something I'm looking for. Okay. You talked about Jesus. I personally do not believe that Jesus character actually existed. There's plenty of reasons why he couldn't have existed. And even if he did, Christianity was not his religion. It was a religion that was born after he had died and resurrected. So, how is it that this religion that is formed after this man now gets to be the one that tells people, or you said it was provides a moral framework for what ending colonization? How is that when the religion itself tells you that because two people ate a fruit in a garden, that you are condemned. That we are condemned. So when you say people colonizing, right? They colonize because they think that you are less than. They colonize because they think that they can help you become better people. And so when you have an ideology that tells you that you are less than, you can see how Christianity can be used as a tool for colonialism. How can Christianity provide a framework when in that same ideology, the God of that religion has created a place of eternal torment and eternal torture? It's like colonialism it's a walk in the park when you have this God creating a place where he would be torturing
1
his
minute
people.
left.
He talked about Jesus being a historical figure. But what about the divinity of Jesus? Shouldn't that be the most important thing? Even if Jesus existed as a historical figure, so what? So what? What should matter the most is that this person came down from heaven. What proof does anybody have that the Jesus came from heaven? That there was a heaven for him to even come from, right? We just seen a man appear on the earth and he says, Daddy sent me down and I'm here to come and save you all from your sins. I'm gonna die. Since when did dying, an innocent man dying for people who haven't done anything wrong, how is that moral? How is that morality that we accept the death on the cross of an innocent man? The day I accept that as moral,
And time
then
is up.
something is wrong with me. It is immoral for anyone to accept the death of an innocent man as a good thing.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys, for that intense discussion. And I think we'll get into the Q&A. But they're mostly comments. That's what I see. So I guess maybe I will be asking you to comment on the comments.
People have, if you have any
So
questions.
yeah, so no actual question yet. So maybe I'll just go to the first comment. And I think maybe many of these comments are for Ben. Well, okay, let me see, where do I start?
Can you get the ones
this
that are
comment.
related to the discussion?
Yeah, okay. So
Guys, if you have any questions for either myself or Ben, please, now is the time to ask the questions.
Okay, there was this one that is
Do
interesting.
we have any questions on
maybe each
on
can
TikTok?
comment.
Any questions? Any questions?
Okay, so maybe I can't see TikTok, but there's a comment here on YouTube on whether Christianity even belongs to Europe. So I think it was so like I think the commenter is trying to say that Christianity does not belong in Africa or in Europe. So I don't know if any of you wants to comment on that.
Yeah, I can comment on that.
Okay.
Indeed, it's not even European. Indeed, that person is right. It's not African, not European. It started in a small part of the Middle East, and I wish it had stayed there. I wished it had stayed locked in there. Because now look at the mess we are in. The Europeans saw it as a good tool to making people conform. They saw it as a good tool to control people, right? To have people where they want them. And so, yeah, they not modernized, but they changed it to suit their narrative. By the time it got to the Europeans, the Jesus was white. And now all over the world, the average Christian thinks that Jesus is an European. So
Okay, thanks for that response.
I'll
Ben,
comment.
you want to comment?
I'll comment on that as well. I don't think Jesus is European. Neither is Jesus white. All we know is that Jesus Christ was a Jew. That is what we know. So appropriating and the origin of a belief has nothing to bear with whether the origin of a belief system has nothing to bear on whether that belief system is true or not. That will be a genetic fallacy. So you're not going to judge the validity of a belief system on how it originated. I think the question of whether a belief system is true or false is what actually does matter. And so if Christianity is true, it is true, period, whether it was actually misused or not. Thank you.
Okay. And I have a comment which is more in line with the topic today, or at least kind of. So it says that there were Black Africans killing and colonizing each other before the European colonialists came to Africa. Anyone wants to comment on that?
So to answer that sort of question, I would like a source.
Or it's not necessarily related?
It is. I would
Okay.
like a source for that claim. I would like to know where that comes from, because when we talk about historical events, we need to be certain that we have got accurate uh, accurate information. Because anyone can tell, they can say anything they want, and if if that is coming from the perspective of the white man, then already that's already problematic. I'm reading a book, right, which is called uh, A Short History of Conquest and Rule: What Britain Did to Nigeria. Right? What Britain did to Nigeria. A lot of what we have today, the stories that are told to us, they are from the perspective of Britain. But what about the perspective of the Nigerian? And so that's what this book is for. It gives you, what is it? It said it brings a much needed African viewpoint to the country's colonial history. So it's important to know where that question is coming, or no, where that claim is coming from.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
Thanks for that.
I actually think that
Atheist
person.
Ben, any comment? Oh.
Yeah, I actually think that person is right. I have I did a writing on that. I have it here, but I'm not able to access it. I think if I access it, I can be able to share with you, Esther, so that you can actually be able to check.
Okay.
Yeah, I will share with you. Actually, it is true that even before the coming of the white man, Africans were actually fighting and enslaving each other to begin with. What is interesting, actually, is that even after the coming of the white man, and I did this with a debate with another atheist.
Chattel slavery? Was it chattel slavery?
I mean, no, I'm saying even before the arrival of even before the setting of the transatlantic slave trade, there was slavery happening down here in Africa, and transatlantic slave trade sort of provided the market.
Was it chattel slavery? Is what I'm asking.
What do you mean by chattel slavery?
What kind of slavery was it?
The African one or the transatlantic?
The African one that you're talking about. The slavery that you're saying was happening in Africa. What sort of slavery was it? Were they owning the people for life?
So owning the people and then using them like for forced labor, just like the transatlantic thing.
Did they
then when
get?
the white man came, collaborating with the
we can talk about something else. It's all right.
Collaborating with the African leaders who went to get their own black men and then sell them to the white man. So there is that. So I also think we have a responsibility in this as well that we have to be honest about.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, being honest is one thing, but whose perspective are we listening to?
It should be a question of whether it is true or not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Charles?
Okay. Okay. And
No questions.
there's another comment. Actually, it's three comments in one. So no questions, although this comment might be interesting. So it talks about how this person has no problem with the intervention that the colonialists did, but they feel the colonialists did more than intervene. And I guess they're talking about intervention like, penicillin to cure some diseases, things of that nature. So they have no problem with the intervention, but they feel the colonialists did more, and that intervention is a good thing if it liberates people from criminals, but the colonialists were criminals themselves. So I'm assuming both of you would agree on this, or how would you
I'll let Ben go first while I look for something quickly.
So I will have to understand the aspect of intervention when he talks about intervention, or he or she, what exactly is that person talking about? I will have to understand what intervention is. But my comment on that will be. Sorry, I think my comment on that will be, because I'm not understanding the aspect of intervention. My comment on that will be that in every evil thing that happens in this world, there is a sense in which something good actually arises from it. And an example that I will give from that is, while colonialism was evil, and we have to condemn it in every possible terms, strongest terms, that it was actually evil. While it was evil, there's actually some good that actually did arise from that. An example, the first example will be a rising appreciation for our identity and who we are as Africans arose from that thing. And so that will be my comment on that.
Okay.
Interesting. So, I don't know if Atheist, you have any comment on that? Actually, this will be the last comment you are commenting on, and then we'll get to the final statement.
Okay. So on the subject of the slavery, slavery did indeed exist before Europeans arrived in West Africa, for example. But however, its status was fluid. A slave's position was not always permanent. Slaves could emerge out of slavery and attain high status and leadership in society. For example, one of the most influential chiefs in southern Nigeria, the Jaja of Opobo, he was a slave who rose to become one of the most powerful figures in his region. So when we're talking about slavery, that slavery was present, it was a different sort of slavery. And so putting them all together and saying, oh, but there was slavery, that's not being fair, in my opinion. And lastly, we talk about intervention. 1 second, where is it now found? Okay, so the intervention after abolishing slave trade, right? Goodness, I had it just now, I've lost it, sorry. Okay, Africa was of particular interest to the Christian missionaries because in their view, it was populated by heathens and it was a den of crime, immorality. Let me read that again. Africa was of particular interest to Christian missionaries because in their view, it was populated by heathens and it was a den of crime, immorality, and misery. The early accounts of explorers and traders containing exaggerated accounts of African barbarity and savagery contributed to their determination to Christianize the area. they hoped to improve the moral standards of the natives and abolish practices such as human sacrifice and slavery. Then, and let's press that particular part. Okay, yeah, I think that's it. There was a part where it says something about the people who abolished slavery only a few years prior were at the forefront of slavery. They were at the forefront. They abolished slavery and all of a sudden said, oh, you know what? We've got all these other things to offer you, right? So when you talk about intervention, who is this intervention benefiting? Who is benefiting from the white man's intervention? If they create medicines, isn't the medicines benefiting them as well? So we have to ask who is benefiting from the intervention of the white man.
Okay. Yeah, thanks for that comment. And I think we can get into the final statements, although the DIY mistress on the comments has told me that I have forgotten to read their comment. So I'll just read the comment.
Let me see if I can find her comment.
Although I found that it's not really related to colonialism, but I'll just read the comment so that I'm not accused for missing out on any comment. So the only comments I see from the DIY mistress is that it was believed that it was okay to have a lot of concubines, but now it is seen as being wrong. So, and then now the next comment is that Christianity itself is a belief. Jesus is just a part of that story. Something can teach something else while having make-believe characters. So as he said, Christianity provides a moral translation for colonialism. I guess, okay, I've read the comment. I don't know if we can comment on it, or do we?
Yeah, sure. I think I can throw in a comment on that. I think I want to refer the DIY mistress to please read the Bible in its context and understand what is happening. Not everything the Bible narrates, not everything the Bible speaks about endorses it, right? So when you mention the question of concubines, I wonder, because God doesn't endorse the issue of concubines, so to say.
God does. God does.
No. Unless you show me an example where he actually does that, I don't think he does that.
Have you read the Old Testament of the Bible?
I have read the Old Testament.
And you forget Solomon?
I think this can be the subject of the next debate.
You forget Solomon.
Solomon had
700 wives and 300 concubines, and yet
nowhere
the
does
Bible
it say
says
that
he was the wisest man in the Bible.
No, nowhere does it say that God accepted his behavior. That is a description of what happened in the life of Solomon.
Yeah, but
why didn't
God do something about it? Why didn't God say, don't have those many wives and concubines?
It is there in scripture. If you read it, go and find a verse where the Bible says it is not for the king to multiply wives. You can check that out.
It is not for the king. You're talking about the king now.
All right.
So
Solomon, to multiply wives.
So how come then he multiplied them? He had loads of them.
Yes, so he was going against God's law. That's the point.
Well, he was the wisest man, though. He was busy building. He was busy building
the fact that he was going against
the temple for God. Remember, when he was born, God said, "Now this one I love." He loved. Anyway, that's not the subject for today, but yeah.
All right, and I think that's true. That will be the subject for the next debate on multiple wives and concubines. I'm just kidding. So I guess we will get into the final statement. And
I think there's a. I don't know if this is a question.
Okay. I guess it could be. that whether the perpetrators of murder can say the truth about murder or the truth about the Christian faith. I'm feeling like it's an interesting question, but it can get us into a somewhere else. I don't know. Does any of you want to comment, or we just get into final statement?
I think we should just finish. My time is gone as well.
Oh, someone said you skipped their question. Oh, Jesus. Is it this one? Okay,
no, I think it was the DIY mistress. The DIY mistress, actually, the one that
this one is a question. Earlier. Yeah, but this is a question, though.
Oh.
I'm sure we can answer this very briefly.
Okay, I guess maybe Ben, if you want to answer, Jesus said that some people will still be alive when he comes, and when the Son of Man returns, and Jesus hasn't come back yet. So I guess what does that say about Christianity? I think that. So I guess why Jesus hasn't come back yet.
So he hasn't come back yet. Yeah. So what is the point?
He's never coming back.
So is that what you're saying?
He's never coming back.
Okay. But at least from what I know.
If Jesus never existed, he's not
That
coming
is when
back.
You assume that he never existed. But if
I'm
he did,
I'm not assuming that he never existed.
He died and rose from the dead. Then when he says that he's actually going to come back,
I'm not assuming that he never existed. He never existed.
No, any serious historian will say that, actually.
Well, that's okay. They can say what they want, but Jesus never existed.
Oh my.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So now
maybe this would be the subject of our next debate.
Two topics.
Did Jesus exist?
Charles, we can do this in the next bet. We can do this in the next bet that Jesus never existed.
I say with my full chest.
Polygamy. All right. So now I think we should get into the final statements, and because of a lot of time spent, we will have 1 minute final statement, if that is even possible. So I guess maybe the whole idea, I know it's going to be difficult, but in 1 minute to say how should we think about colonialism in light of Christianity, naturalism, and African traditional religion. And in that same minute, if it is possible, to stillman your opponent. And by that I mean to talk about which argument from the other side made you think a little bit, and you probably need to do more research on, or at least it's challenged you. All that in 1 minute. I know it's difficult.
Okay.
So we can start with Ben, and then we'll finish with the Afro-Atheist.
No,
strictly 1 minute.
I started first, so she can go first, and then I finish.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. That's okay. Therefore, it is strictly 1 minute.
Right. So we've listened to Ben tell us about Christianity being a moral framework for, I think it was ending colonialism. Christians generally believe and argue that Christianity brought moral guidance and hope to many people, and that the belief in Jesus provides meaning and community for millions around the world. These are important points, and it is true that religion can provide comfort and structure for many individuals. However, the historical context in which Christianity spread in Africa cannot be separated from colonial power and cultural transformation. Recognizing this history does not require hostility towards faith. It's about accepting fact. It's about accepting what happened. It simply encourages us to examine belief systems with honesty, evidence, and awareness of the past. And by doing so, we can better understand both our history and ourselves. As for something that I took back from what Ben was talking about, there was a name that he mentioned that I'd never heard of. I think he called him Thallus. Was it Thallus? Did you say Thallus?
Yeah, Thallus.
Did you say Thallus?
Thallus.
Right. So I think I will go back and find out what Thallus had to say. And it's interesting that he said that Thallus was a contemporary, because we know that all the other historians were not contemporaries. But other than that, thank you all very much.
All right, thank you, Atheist. And Ben, 1 minute.
Yeah, thank you so much. There's a lot I had actually planned to talk about, but one of the things that I want you to understand is that in the atheistic framework, at least from my own standpoint, is that even the question of morality can't be justified to begin with. And I gave you an example where Darwinism and evolution was actually used to justify the extermination of the Herero people. And not only that, you can go and check out a book called The Life of Otabenga, or you can search out there Human Zeus, where a pygmy called Otabenga was actually brought all the way from Congo and then put in Human Zeus. Why? Because according to them, and according to how evolution puts men in racial hierarchy, Africans were at the same level with the baboons. And also, something that is very important that I want people to get away with is this, that we have to actually separate the truth of Christianity from how it was misused. So if it is true that Jesus Christ died and rose from the dead, and we can demonstrate that, then Christianity is true, and we have the confidence of believing that. Lastly, I think we conflate a lot Christianity and colonialism. We conflate that a lot, and I think we have to see where there was a relationship, but we also have to see clearly where there was no relationship and intention, absolutely, from the African missionaries for the issue of colonization. They came here, some of them with their clothes in caskets, and they died here with Africans, loving them and taking care of them. And that's because of Jesus Christ. So thank you.
And any plus from the Afro Atheist, anything that
Yeah, sure.
for you to think about?
You said sorry, go on.
So I think something that I have to read more about, or go back about, that you just reminded me, is the issue of slavery and how Africans were part and parcel of the enslaving of their fellow black men. So I think that's something I need to go back and check.
Okay.
But thank you so much for allowing me into this discussion. I think I've enjoyed it. I will love to have more conversation with you, whether Charles is there or not. I think we can connect.
I'm going to go over now on TikTok. I've got my few people there who want to carry on the conversation. So if you want to join us there, that's absolutely fine. Yeah, but thank you. I've enjoyed having the conversation with you, and it's been very respectful, and so yeah, African debates. Thank you for asking me to be a part of this. Appreciate.
And also, before we end, maybe you want to talk more about your YouTube channel, because there might be people who have never encountered any of you, either Ben or the Afro Atheist or me. So if you want to speak more about what you have, so that they can check out.
Yeah, sure.
Maybe
I have
you
a
can start
YouTube
with
channel.
Ben and then the Afro Atheist.
I have a YouTube channel. I'm just going to type the name there, so that people can check me out. The YouTube channel is called Art Socratic Discourse, so you can check me out there.
Have you put it in the? Did you put it in the? Okay,
I've put it in the chat.
Okay, I will put it in the. I'll put it in the. So here we go. So that's it. That's Ben's YouTube channel at Socratic Discourse.
Yeah, so be sure to come out and engage with me as well anytime.
Okay. And for myself, this, of course, this is my channel, The Afro
Yeah.
Atheist. And please make sure to subscribe, follow, send a super chat. Uh, yeah, all the nice things that you do on YouTube. But most importantly, please give the stream a thumbs up. Not just thumbs up, but share, share. Yeah, thank you.
Esther,
All right. And,
Yes.
just before you go, I would love to have this video on my channel as well, if that's fine.
How can we do that?
Uh, I think we'll chat with you, because we'll chat on the
yeah.
group, and then
Can
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 chat
you can
later.
you
Yeah.
not can you not download it? I'm just asking. I don't know.
yeah, it's
Okay,
possible.
you know.
I just wanted to make sure that it is okay with you before I do
Oh
that.
yes, absolutely. Please,
Okay.
yes,
Okay. So
please.
thank you.
You know what we could have done for next time when you come in here, you could have just streamed it directly to your YouTube channel.
Yeah.
There's on StreamYard. There is a way to do that. You just link your. But next time we'll do that, I think. Yes. And also, guys,
All
my
right.
TikTok. Yes, thank you, the DIY mistress. My TikTok, I am the Afro Atheist, and we have conversations, deconstruction conversations, nearly every day.
Mm. Oh, yeah. And I think also Ben forgot to mention that he's part of Apologetics Kenya, of which people
Oh,
can also check
okay.
out. Yeah. And then
Apologetics
also there
Kenya.
are other,
Yeah.
yeah. And also African Debates has some discussions of the past on different African issues. Yeah, but apart from that, I think that's all. Unless the Afro Atheist does something else, I guess we can end the stream.
No, that's it. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for being a part. And Charles, thank you. Ben, thank you.
Welcome.
And everyone watching, thank you, everyone. People on YouTube, you hang in there. We're coming back. We're good. I'm going to come and join you guys. Just give me a minute.
Good day, Esther, and good night,
Right.
Charles.
All right, everyone. Good night. Good night. Right. So let's see.
Right.
Let me end this
Have a nice week.
thing here.